Ruth's Journey, a story of faith, friendship, and love. In the sunny town of Bethlehem, a family lived happily. There was a kind woman named Naomi, her strong husband Elimelech, and their two adventurous sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Their laughter filled their small, cozy home. But then the rains stopped coming. The sun beat down, turning the green fields to brown, dusty patches. A great famine fell over the land, and food became very hard to find. The family's laughter was replaced with worried whispers. Elimelech decided they must travel to the nearby land of Moab, where there was still food. It was a sad day as they packed their belongings and waved goodbye to their home, praying for a better life ahead. In Moab, the fields were green and the markets were full. For a time, life was good. Mahlon and Chilion met two kind and wonderful Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth, and soon the family celebrated 2 happy weddings. But a deep sadness fell upon their new life. First, Naomi's beloved husband Elimelech passed away. Then, not long after, both of her strong sons, Mahlon and Chilion, also died. Naomi, Orpah, and Ruth were left as 3 widows, their hearts heavy with grief. One day, Naomi heard news that the famine in Bethlehem had ended. Rain had returned, and the fields were full of grain once more. With a heavy heart, she decided it was time to return to the land of her birth. She gathered Orpah and Ruth and told them her plan. "You have been wonderful daughters to me," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "But you should go back to your own families in Moab. May you find new husbands and new happiness." Orpah cried and hugged Naomi tightly. It was a difficult choice, but she knew Naomi was right. With one last, tearful goodbye, Orpah turned and began the walk back to her childhood home. But Ruth did not move. She held onto Naomi's hand and would not let go. "Please," Ruth begged, her eyes full of love and determination, "do not ask me to leave you. I belong with you now." Ruth looked into Naomi's weary eyes and spoke words that would be remembered forever. "Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." So the 2 women began the long journey to Bethlehem together. They walked along dusty roads, sharing the little food they had and leaning on each other for strength when they grew tired. Their bond grew stronger with every step. When they finally arrived in Bethlehem, the townspeople were shocked to see Naomi. She looked so tired and sad. "Don't call me Naomi," she told them. "Call me Mara, which means bitter, for my life has been filled with sorrow." They had no home and no food. Ruth, seeing Naomi's despair, knew she had to do something. "I will go to the barley fields," she said bravely. "I will follow the harvesters and pick up the grain they leave behind. It is called gleaning, and it is how the poor can find food." Ruth worked hard all day under the hot sun, carefully picking up every stalk of grain she could find. It was tiring work, but she did it with a cheerful heart, thankful for a way to provide for Naomi. Lesson: true loyalty means staying with people and caring for them through good times and bad. The field belonged to a wealthy and respected man named Boaz. He was overseeing the harvest when he noticed the new woman working so tirelessly in his field. He saw her gentle spirit and her dedication. Boaz called his foreman over. "Who is that young woman?" he asked. The foreman told him it was Ruth, the Moabite, who had shown such incredible love and loyalty to her mother-in-law, Naomi. Boaz was deeply impressed by her story. Boaz walked over to Ruth, his shadow falling over her. She looked up, startled. "Do not be afraid," he said with a warm smile. "Please stay and gather in my field. You will be safe here with my workers." Boaz then went to his workers in private. "Make sure no one bothers her," he commanded. "And when you are bundling the grain, pull out a few extra stalks and leave them behind on purpose for her to find." At lunchtime, Boaz invited Ruth to eat with him and his workers. He shared his bread and roasted grain with her, treating her not as a poor foreigner, but as an honored guest. Lesson: kindness matters. Small acts of generosity can make a huge difference in someone's life. That evening, Ruth returned to Naomi with a bag so full of grain it was almost too heavy to carry. Naomi's eyes widened in amazement. "How did you gather so much?" she asked, her voice filled with disbelief. When Ruth told her the field belonged to Boaz and described all his kindness, Naomi's face lit up with a hope she hadn't felt in years. "Boaz is our kinsman redeemer," she exclaimed. She explained this was a special relative who had the responsibility to protect and care for their family. Seeing a chance for a happy future for Ruth, Naomi gave her careful instructions. "Tonight, after he has finished his work, go to the threshing floor where he is sleeping. It is our custom to respectfully ask for his protection." Ruth did exactly as Naomi said. Boaz was a good and honorable man. He was moved by her trust in him and her loyalty to Naomi's family. "You are a woman of noble character," he said. "I will do everything I can to take care of you." True to his word, Boaz took care of all the legal matters and joyfully took Ruth as his wife. The whole town of Bethlehem celebrated their wedding. Ruth, the girl from Moab who had nothing, was now part of a loving family again. Soon, Boaz and Ruth had a baby boy named Obed. Naomi's heart overflowed with joy as she held her tiny grandson. Her bitterness was washed away and replaced with love. Ruth's journey of faith had led to a wonderful new beginning, and her son, Obed, would one day be the grandfather of Israel's greatest king, David. Lesson: even when we feel lost, acts of faith, loyalty, and love can lead to incredible blessings we never expected.